What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, for today's video I have a really amazing news. First of all, I will show you the most recent update in regards to the litigation processes that we have on the table right now. On top of that, guys, I will show you some details from the previous lawsuits and the decision-making process that happened just recently. And I will show you the thoughts of some of MMTLP community members in regards to this news. On top of that, guys, I will show you very interesting due diligence that was made by one of the community members in regards to the process that happened in 2021 when MMTLP shares became tradable. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for you. And guys, let me remind you that July 31st is the last day when you can join my Patreon for lower prices. I will remove on July 31st General Supporter tier and Discord Access tier for $5 and $35 respectively, and you will be able to join my Patreon only for $50 and above. And guys, let me show you a sneak peek what you will have for this money. So this is just one day of my communications with my patrons. You can see that when the trading session began, I made this call to short WDC, C and TTMI, and guys, since then this asset lost from 5 to 11% of their value. On top of that, guys, you can see that here is my personal opinion that was closed for 2.8% of profit. And then I added another call to action to short NEO. You can see that I made a direct call to action when my patrons should short the stock if they want to, and here you can see the exact point when it happened, and it was just a very short term trade for about 1.5% of profit. On top of that, guys, for the people who don't like to short, here's the call for swing trade long position. And guys, since I made this call, this asset went up by more than 1.2%. And it is not the only one. Here you can see that I made another call on June the 20th, and it was a long position on McDonald's, so with the entry level from 288 to 280. And guys, since then McDonald's went up by I believe 5 or 6%. And this is what you will have for your $35 if you join my Patreon before July 31st. And guys, I have a 7 days money back guarantee. If you don't like anything in this subscription, you can leave my Patreon and I will pay you back all of your money. And let's begin with the news itself. First of all, I want to pay attention to the tweet that was written by Rob Carter 12 hours ago. He wrote, MetaMan could make a lot of money cutting clips. We no longer have power in DC. Am I right? Let's work together. And guys, Rob Carter is still pushing the MMTLP case further. This means, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to his efforts because he's trying to help MMTLP community. But to be honest, I have to admit that the only path how we can really push the case forward, except this so-called promotional actions, and basically I do the same inside the MMTLP community, despite the fact that I am not an MMTLP shareholder. But the only path how we can solve it is through litigation processes. And let me show you some details about one of the most recent lawsuits. And guys, a couple of videos ago I showed you this tweet that was written by Scipio, and he filed a lawsuit less than a month ago. And Scipio asks for help. If you have your own MMTLP story, please send him this story, because it will drastically improve his case, because his case is quite unique. First of all, he challenges FINRA's immunity, and on top of that he asks for jury trial. And the jury trial itself might definitely be a competitive competitive advantage for his case. And that is why, guys, if you have your story in written format, please contact him. And here you can see the email where you can send your MMTLP story: william.lee.kelly@gmail.com. And guys, if you have the story, please send it to him. On top of that, he wrote this tweet 15 hours ago: "I want my money." And he added the screenshot of motion for preliminary injunction. Let me quote you just a couple of paragraphs. "This motion is necessary to prevent irreparable harm, preserve critical evidence, and ensure plaintiff's ability to fully litigate his claim that FINRA violated his Fifth Amendment due process rights by arbitrarily and without notice implementing a U3 trading halt on MMTLP, thereby depriving plaintiff of access to his lawfully held securities. This case involves the exercise of government-delegated regulatory authority by a quasi-public entity. As such, transparency and accountability are not only appropriate but constitutionally required. The requested materials are essential to assessing the legitimacy, scope, and motivation behind FINRA's actions, and whether those actions fell outside the bounds of its lawful authority. The evidence requested in this motion is narrowly tailored and pertains to 1. Blue sheet trade data for the dates surrounding the halt; 2. Communications between FINRA and metamaterials; and 3. Communications with DTCC and the SEC. These records are necessary to evaluate whether FINRA's conduct was procedurally proper or arbitrary and capricious as alleged. Plaintiff respectfully requests that the court grant this motion and compel immediate disclosure and preservation of the specified records to avoid continued prejudice to plaintiff's constitutional claims." And guys, as I mentioned, CPO is challenging FINRA's immunity. And let me show you one interesting point of view and very important tweet, in my opinion, how we can do it and what basically what actions can allow us to achieve our goal. So, YoFac wrote this: "Don't waste your time with sob stories. All the winning in the world about unfair and wah-wah is going to get you absolutely nowhere, in my humble opinion." In fact, all of the following is my humble opinion, because I'm not a lawyer and I don't hand out legal advice. Look, regulators make decisions which are likely going to make one side happy and the other side angry. In other words, regulators are going to take unpopular actions at times, and courts recognize this. You can't please all the people all the time. If anyone understands this, it's a judge. The regulator will always say they were just doing their job, which is protected by immunity, and that's how they win in court. How to get past it? It's a very narrow passageway. You have to show the court that the regulator was acting outside of its authority or acting unconstitutionally. No matter how much immunity, nobody is allowed to violate the Constitution. So go light on the wine and heavy on the constitutional and authority. Make sure you are not in front of a judge who believes in such thing as a so-called living constitution, or you are pissing in the wind. These people have no issue violating the written word of the Constitution when it suits them. You want a judge who interprets the Constitution as written, not one who attempts to guess how the founders might edit it in today's world. And guys, I completely agree with this statement. Constitution is the main law, and no one, literally no one, allowed to violate the rights and all the statements that were written in the Constitution. That is why, guys, if some person or entity violates the Constitution, it means that these people or these entities need to be accountable for their actions. And there is no immunity in the world which can protect this people or entity from these violations. That is why, guys, this is the path how CPO can act in his litigation and how other community members can act in their actions. And let me remind you about another lawsuit, and I covered very detailed due diligence that was made by Roman Soups. And yes, someone of you don't like Roman Soups and his posts, but in general, guys, I want to show you different points of view, and his due diligence in regards to the most recent update of Contic-Wilcott lawsuit was very thoroughly made, and it is very important to understand the strong points and the weak points of this document in order to basically improve this document in future iterations and push it even harder. And Jennifer Vitrana, another person who filed a lawsuit as a 1209 community, wrote this: "I just wanted to stop and give Contic-Wilcott much love and credit for this motion. One of the best I have seen to date that includes coming from the defendant's lawyers. Denzel, you make 1209 proud." And guys, I have to admit that to be honest, I don't care from which side the justice will come. I strongly believe that it will happen within foreseeable future. And if some community members don't like to see certain people or entities as the guilty people or entities in this case, so be it. Regardless of their opinion, if something is wrong, we can prove it in court. And if you want to solve this problem by just making some posts or space calls, it will lead us nowhere. The only goal that we can achieve with these actions is just to attract more attention to the problem itself. But the decision making to pay the remedies for the damages that were made by the wrongdoers should be made only by the judge's decision. And that is why the only path how we can solve this problem is through litigation processes. And let me show you some recent updates in Jennifer Vitrano's case. As you can see right here, just yesterday we have 3 filings. It is a notice of attorney appearance, and here you can see this notice in details. Several people were added to this lawsuit, but guys, take a look right here. This information confuses me a lot. You can see that this case was terminated on May the 1st, but at the same time the list of dockets is still open. You can see that the most recent filing was made on July 22nd. And May the 1st, let me remind you, was... wait a second, I will show you right here. Here is the May the 1st docket, number 52. It is an order, and it will terminate civil case and terminate motions. And technically speaking, if I understand it correctly, this case is closed. But at the same time, guys, tiny door is still open for Jennifer Vitrano, and she's trying to reopen her case, and that is why she's for example making this she's still filing these documents as I showed you yesterday. It is the most recent update that she filed on July 18th, basically 4 days ago, and it is filing of renewed motion to vacate stay order. So I have to say that yes, we have to work hard in order to push our case forward, especially the members of so-called 1209 community have to work extremely hard because it is their duty at this moment to push this case forward. And let me show you another quite interesting update that might bring a lot of additional information on the table. So Trader Zero, and I have to admit that this person knows a lot about the market mechanics, wrote this tweet in regards to the MMTLP shares. And he wrote, another overlooked fact, MMTLP was flagged unsolicited only on OTC link from day one. That means every quote, bid or ask was customer driven. No market maker ever initiated quotes, none, zero, the entire time it traded. Under SEC Rule 15C2-11F2, unsolicited quotes don't require a Form 211 or issue disclosures. So, MMTLP traded OTC without formal filings legally because it was entirely retail driven. This obliterates the tired who got MMTLP to trade narrative and that GTS or Concord did anything fraudulent. They were no market maker driven quotes, just retail trades quoting each other in a speculative vacuum. As for who benched the next breach S1, it wasn't some outside force. The answer is simple. The SEC never cleared it, likely due to massive holes in valuation, disclosure and governance. The Orogrande asset's value is unverified, unaudited and built on layers of speculation. Combine that with Greg McCabe's track record, NBH's opaque structure and mounting shareholder lawsuits, and it's no mystery why the SEC wouldn't approve public registration. You can't just slap $1 billion valuation on sand without third-party validation. Let's be real, what kind of investor would buy NBA shares directly from the company if there is no public market and no exit? Answer: nobody. That's the whole point. You can't raise capital of an S1 if your only shareholders are backholders with no liquidity. They think you will buy more, unless, of course, the real goal is never to go public, but to quietly position total insider control while stringing along retail with next steps coming soon, which never come. Simply put, imagine a private oil and gas shell company under SEC review, buried in lawsuits with zero liquidity, trying to sell your stock directly. That's what NBH thought they could pull off. The S1 was dead the moment it arrived at the SEC. So guys, I have to admit that it is quite interesting point of view, and to be honest, I made a quick due diligence and I found out that this information is real. MMTLP was flagged as unsolicited only, and you can Google by yourself what does it mean, and you can make your own conclusion based on this information. So let me show you another quite interesting update, at this time from John Burda. He reposted a tweet that was written by Junk Savvy, and Junk Savvy refers to one of the most recent articles and decisions that were made just basically less than a couple of weeks ago. Next breach beats investor suit over metamaterials spin-off. And let me show you what Junk Savvy wrote. Levinsky, your client loses their case when a motion to dismiss with prejudice is ordered, but you continue to defame defendants as swindlers. The attorney can continue to make such claims, but they risk defamation lawsuits, ethical violations, or professional sanctions if the statements are false, misleading, or improperly motivated. What does it mean when a judge dismisses a case with prejudice? When a judge dismisses a case with prejudice, it means the dismissal is final and the plaintiff is barred from bringing the same claim again in the future. This typically reflects the judge's opinion that the case lacks merit, has significant legal or procedural flaws. It suggests the judge believes there is no basis for the case to proceed further or be refiled, effectively closing the matter permanently. Wow! Even in your client's previous class action against metamaterials, even though the judge dismissed the case, they gave allowance for it to be amended and refiled. Doesn't seem like the judge this time around thinks much of your claim. Yikes. Ask your clients if they intended to sell their MMTLP shares on December the 9th and December the 12th of 2022. If the answer is yes, you are barking up the wrong tree. Bloomberg law, no bias there. All of your pay-to-play credibility was lost in regards to MMTLP when Matt Levine stated in an article for your platform that naked shorting is an imaginary problem. And the very next day, the SEC comes out with enforcement action against naked short sellers. See post below. And she had the link that proves her words. Isn't Levine also the journalist, so-called journalist, who wrote "Though Foods had too many shares"? Really? You cannot make this shit up. Or wait, I guess they can. Welcome to the MMTLP fiasco. We are not going away. And guys, I told you multiple times, this issue is extremely complicated, and to be honest, if you see some details of this lawsuit for the first time, it might confuse you a lot. But believe me, the justice will prevail, and that is why I'm here. And if you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack.